Welcome back, guys. I'm back in the shed, finally going to get some work done on the pink car for Thrashernats. I'm going to start by ripping the fuel tank out, and then going to cut the boot floor out. But before I get into it, I want to show you a little something that I've been working on. So I want to say a huge shout out to Unique Vision here in town. He's come up with this awesome design of Brendo's garage and has printed off these stickers. So these are just a test run for now. When I sort out a website and everything like that, I'll get them posted up. But leave a comment down below and tell me if you'd be interested in one. So I've got, at the moment, I can do get any colour made. So pink, blue, white. I've sold a couple of red ones here in town. But yeah, any colour. Also, he knocked up one of these, the key ring, which is pretty damn cool as well. I love the design he's done, it's just come up really good. So they're the key rings, they're the stickers. So I'll keep you updated with what's going to go on with these, and just, yeah, comment down below, show some interest, see if you would be likely to want one or purchase one. I'm thinking I'll do these little ones for 10 and these big ones for 20. Not sure on postage or anything yet. I haven't looked into anything. Not sure on price for this yet either, but thought I'd just give you a bit of a look. Anyway, I'm not sure if I've showed you yet, but I've got some goodies. I've got a 57 litre fuel cell here. The other parts are inside. I've showed you all the manifold. Inside I've got fuel reg, black fuel rails. I've got fittings. I still got to get a pump and everything yet, but I've got enough stuff to get me started. So I'm going to start off by pulling the fuel tank out and cutting the floor out of the boot. Started to drop the tank. It's a bit of a tight fit with this plate, but we won't need that plate anymore, so I might bend it out of the way and then cut it out soon. But I'll set you up on the tripod. We'll do a bit of a time lapse. The tank's out, and I just want to say, I think we got very lucky that we're pulling this system out now. So it was only running a no return style fuel system. So one in, which was this one here. And fuel just dripped all over me. So this is the other line. So it's melted it, cut it and melted it. Same as this one here. It has melted that line as well. I think we're just a little bit lucky that's got a bit of protection on the outside, otherwise that would have been the same. So yeah, probably lucky that we're doing this now. So I've just had a bit of a go at cutting, just cutting along the chassis line. This side's a bit hard. I've got to kind of guess. I've kind of just went onto the lip of it there. I can't get the grinder up underneath, so I can't see where it is. Just going to run about 10 mil off that roll, like just right on the top of that roll, 10 mil off the center of the roll. Cut it around here, and then I can always grind it back to where it needs to go. Just about through. I've just roughly cut up here. It'll still need grinder back, so I didn't go right to the seam there. Went a little bit on the seam there, not too bad. So I'm just gonna go up here, and now while I'm under here, I'm just gonna cut along the line here, and then it should come out. So close, just need to cut this corner out and we'll be there. Well, it's out now. I've pulled all the carpet out as well. Just going to cut and grind these back to the seam where I'd missed. There. Just smooth it off a bit all along there. Done pretty well on this side. And then just going to grind this lip all the way back as well. But I'll pull this off and yeah, get into it. So that's all smoothed off now, right back to the seam line. I'm just going to jump in the boot here. I'm going to grind just the top around here and get all that seam shit off, because once we get the flat floor, we'll need a weld, so we can't have that shit in there. The only thing with grinding that, it's burning me nose and probably not good for me, but that's alright. So I've worked out what I'm going to do with the sheet metal for the parcel shelf here. So there's a lip just there that I'll get the sheet metal slide in there, go all the way to there. I'll have to see where that boot folds down. Might have to go just to there. And then have it, if that's in there, coming right across to where this light is here. So from there all the way to here, and all that to be sheet metaled. So saves all them holes, just flat sheet metal there. And then work out for here to keep all these holes here and that there. If I sit the metal on that lip there, like so, weld it to that, and then just get a bit of metal that goes all the way down along there, and then that whole section will be sheet metal. And then just do little panels for over here. These are the new fuel rails. I won't show you all the fittings, but airflow, nice and black. Come with brackets and bolts and stuff I need. And the fuel injectors I got. I'm not sure if I showed you these. Got injectors, 668 cc full length injectors. So they'll go straight into the fuel rails. So I'm slowly just gathering parts, just so I can just go bang and have it all ready. So as always, I only do a big lot of work under pressure. So I've now, Thrashernats here in town got postponed for 4 weeks. I managed to stumble upon a ticket someone was selling, so I've got a ticket and I've now got 4 weeks to get the car ready. So I've just got some cardboard here. I'm going to roughly outline a bit of a thing, bit of a template, and then I'm going to put it in here and customize the template a bit. Then I'm going to do it onto sheet metal, and then I'll do that onto the proper sheet. So I've got the cardboard cut out perfectly, except a little bit up there, which I'll just fix up on the steel piece. So I'm not going to transfer it onto that there. This template's pretty good enough. So now I'm going to make a template for where I want the cardboard up the back there. So I've got all the back wall templates made up. So that one's out of metal, just roughly. The main one there, which will go to their measurements, so this is slightly smaller, and then just the cardboard one in the side there, and obviously the one here. So it actually looks good as that as a flat wall. I now need to just work out what I'm going to do for up here, whether or not I just do little holes, little bits of metal, and weld those holes in. But yeah, no, it looks good as a flat wall. I've got myself some steel. I've got some 25 by 25 and 3mm thick, so it's nice and thick. That's to go in here, ladder one across here, and the rest scatter off the other way. And also got some flat steel. So I've just gone and picked the welder up. I've got 3 pieces cut out. I've changed my design. I'm going that way. That way I can put one right at the end here and the flat sheet metal have something to sit on. So I've got that clamped in place. I'm about to chuck the helmet on and tack it in. So I got 2 bars welded in. So now I'm just gonna do this last one. But I've got to grind a bit of way up here so the bar can go right down into position so it can be still the same even gap. So I've just quickly cut some of these up. They're not like welded in or anything, they're just sitting there. So I'm just gonna cut a couple more to fit up there, and tomorrow or over the weekend I'll get them in place properly in their right positions and weld them in. I've just undone the manifold bolts. I'm gonna leave just the welding for now. I want to try and put the manifold on to see what parts I need to order. It's only 4 weeks till Thrashernats, so if I can get this off, all I gotta do is undo the wiring, pull it off, and then I'll fit the new manifold on, and hopefully I got some stuff here to seal the gasket. It might be a bit hard to hear me because it's raining, but I've got this all mocked up on here. It's still not mounted. I've got to get some Hylamar stuff, spray the gasket and put on there. The studs fit that it come with, except on this side where the throttle bracket is. So I'll have to get 2 longer studs for there. It didn't come with a bolt for the top of the air cleaner. I have to get that there. This coolant hose, I need to get a longer one and extend it, piss this one off, run it into there. I need to get a catch can so I can run my rocker covers into something, mount it up there or something like that. Need to get a bit of bigger fitting from here so the brake booster hose can just go straight into there. And I need to extend the wires back there, or just pull them back through the conduit there so they can reach up to here, up the top. Same with these ones, I've got to do something with these, uncable tie them and shit them, try and run them neatly up in there. So I've got a fair bit to do. I still haven't worked out about the fuel rails yet. Still got to sort that out. But I've got majority of stuff here to make a start. So I've gathered everything here. There, the fuel rails, all the fittings and stuff. So yeah, and this is the fuel cell sitting in the back here. So these 2 ones here are perfectly right on the where the fuel cell will mount, and then I'll just have the ones in the middle there. I'm not going to have any here. It's pretty solid enough. So, and I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be able to get all this done before Thrashernats, so I might be able to get that one big piece there done, but I'm not too sure about the other ones yet. So the last 2 days I've been coming home on my lunch break, just doing a few little things. Now I've got this semi cut out, and I've got the middle brackets all tack welded in. So this here still needs trimming down so I can sit down flush, but you get the idea, and it's a basic shape. I've trimmed a few bits off the edge of it, but it isn't enough yet, and I'll just be fighting myself if I keep just trimming bits off. So I've got it up there, a few bits are right, and I'm just going around with a black marker and just marking the edge of it, and I'll pull it off and I'll cut it along that line, and then it should be good enough to tack weld in there. So turns out these fuel rails that we got aren't compatible with this manifold, which sucks, but we do have a solution for that. So these like the mounting bolts are nowhere near where these mount, and they're a completely different type of mounting compared to how the Elderbrock ones or the other type of ones actually fit on these manifolds. But we do have a solution. So luckily all the injector holes still line up. So we're gonna make an L bracket that'll go from that hole up to here, that hole up to here, maybe like a C bracket there. And yeah, that won't be an actual L bracket. It'll have to come, then have a little dick coming off that way so it can bolt into the 2 bolts there. But so it will work, which is good. We just gotta modify something a little bit, just the bracket. But they do look very nice on this. It's all welded. Not all of them are the prettiest. That one's probably the best looking one. The others are a bit ordinary. But that's all welded, and it's strong, so I know I can trust that. The next thing we'll be doing, probably not now, it's getting a bit late. Put that boot floor up in there and just run a little tacks in each corner. And probably, I'm not sure how I'm going to weld that. I might even just do like little, I don't know, on the corners here, just little L shape there, little right angles of weld. That should hold it down enough, just in each corner. And then maybe, obviously I've got to do one around the whole side of the outside. So it's all in place now, just got the welder ready. So I'm going to run some tacks around, not where the beams are, in between the beams, or maybe on the beams, so I can push it down and hold it there, just so I can get it as flush as possible, and then I'll lift the car up on the hoist and weld from underneath. So I've got the manifold here, and the old man has made up one bracket for me, which is solid as. I roughly made up this template one here, which will go there to there. Just gonna make another one so it's a bit wider and we cut it to size, but that one looks unreal. We'll paint that gloss black as well once we're done. But it's come together, and I cut these studs down. Got a bit of threaded rod and cut some studs out. I've still got to do one for the top because the air cleaner's not that small. Got to cut one out so it's up here, but I'll have to bring the air cleaner in to do that one. So it's coming together. So it's all in place now, just got the welder ready. So I'm going to run some tacks around, not where the beams are, in between the beams, or maybe on the beams, so I can push it down and hold it there, just so I can get it as flush as possible, and then I'll lift the car up on the hoist and weld from underneath. So I've pulled the back seat out, and I'm going to get stuck into welding some holes up. I've just welded a couple up. Just some of the little holes where I don't need any plates just yet. Just started welding them up. They'll need grinding back. Not sure if I explained before, but I'm not going to do the flat wall, flat plate in there just now, just because of the fact in the future when I tub it, it's going to need cutting out again, and it's just going to get in the way later on. So once I do tub it later on down the track, that will be something I probably will do, make it nice and pretty, flatten the wall. But now I'm just going to cut some metal out and weld these holes up. Okay, so things have changed again. Actually, I done some editing last night and I didn't show you that I welded this in. So I welded that in and grinded it flat enough. Flat enough to look half alright. I probably will get some seam sealer or something. I've still got to grind that little bit there. But things have taken another turn. I did weld some of these holes up, but I've now reached out to see what some other people have done that look good, and I've come up with a solution after looking at what they done. So we're back to the rear flat wall, and I'll show you where this one goes. So the right way, this way. Okay, so that stays in there. That's like that, and it looks so much better, and it's so much easier to weld in there, and it's just, yeah. So that's how it's going to be. So I'm up to I just had it out. I was going to pull it out and start grinding along the top there, grinding along the bottom there. That way I can tack weld it in. So I've got this bit all tack welded in there. Just ran a few little beads along the bottom. I will end up welding it the whole way across the bottom and the whole way across the top. And I've made this side piece. I know I did say I wasn't going to do the flat wall, but I've come up with a better way to do it. And yeah, so it works. So that one's all made there, ready to go. And I've got this one here that needs to finalise to go on the other side. The only thing is I might have to modify this one just because the wiring comes out of there, so I'm not sure how they say you can have the wire through there, maybe if it needs to be through a steel grommet or something like that. But that back wall come up a treat, and that little piece there is not too bad. There is a bit of a gap there, but it should fill with weld enough. And then there's just little bits, I'll try and zoom in, up in those corners there, and up in that corner there that I've got to just do something about. And then the top as well. But it's getting there slowly but surely. So I've got those side pieces tacked in, all along the top tacked in, that side piece tacked in, and I've welded majority of the way along the bottom there, but ran out of gas in the welder there, so that's a bit of a shitty weld. But I started to weld up there a little bit as well, but yeah, just run out of gas. Nothing left. So I thought I'll put the fuel cell in and get some fittings out and start mapping out where everything's going to go. So that'll be roughly where the fuel cell is. The filler knob's right there, so it should be able to still get a funnel in if I was need to be and pour some fuel in. Fuel pump will go somewhere there. Not exactly sure where, got the bracket on its way. Filter will go somewhere here, and I'll start unpacking some of these and start placing them in their positions. So I just read on this pack that these O-rings aren't good for ethanol or alcohol fuels, so I will have to get another O-ring for there. So this is how the basic fuel setup will be. So it'll be feed line out the bottom, into a little bit of hose, into a filter. This hose here won't be as long, but then it'll curve round into the fuel pump, and then it will go from the fuel pump into a bulkhead fitting there, which will come out the bottom and then run into the standard steel fuel line. And then when it's coming back, it will come out of one of the other steel lines, come through a bulkhead and go back into here as a return. And then on this side, that's a little rollover valve breather, and then it'll have fuel hose coming off here and then just into a bulkhead either up here further, that way fumes don't cause a fire underneath or something. I'll work something out for there, but either way the breather will come out of there. So this is my little diagram. So we've got the tank, hose out of here into the filter, hose out of here into the fuel pump, through floor to the steel lines, and then steel lines into the fuel rail, out the end of that right end fuel rail, into the crossover hose, into the other fuel rail, into the reg, out of the reg, back into the steel line, back through here, back into the return, which is here. I just got to get some isolators, rubber isolators, so this isn't just sitting on here, so it doesn't vibrate and crack the tank. And I've got a clamp coming for this, and I'll probably just get a P clamp or something to clamp this down, straight over that to clamp that down. This isn't the hose I'll be using. I've got to get E85 compatible hose. and I'll have to pull the fuel pump wiring up through there, bring it into the boot here, and neatly run some wires onto the pump just here. Come out of one of these steel lines, not sure which one yet. That's the original one. It comes out of over here that we bent out of the way, but that might end up being the return, seeing though it's over that side. So might feed out of one of these straight into the end of the fuel rail there. It'll come through the fuel rail out the end here. We'll blank them off. Do a nice neat crossover pipe here. Probably do braided line there. Straight back into the fuel rail. Blank that one off. Out of here into the fuel reg, and then back into the steel line and straight back down. I have to order throttle cable, so we get the VK, VB to VK, whatever the VL, all the early Commodores. I'm fairly sure they're all the same, so that'll suit for that. I'm not 100% sure with this throttle bracket. I did want to try and get some smaller springs and screw them into there, put some holes in there and cut the end of this off, because I'm not sure if that actually will stick out the bonnet. It looks way too high, so like it will stick out the bonnet. I did only want to have to cut the air cleaner hole out, so that might be something that we'll do after Thrashernats, and I might even get another throttle cable bracket, a smaller one that's not so bulky. That way this won't have to stick out, it'll just be the air cleaner sticking out. I'll have to run the standard injectors in it just to get it going and stuff like that, so I know that it runs, and obviously getting it onto the trailer and to get dynoed and stuff like that, I'll have all these on there, these old injectors. That way it can actually run half decently, and then once we get up to get it on the dyno, we'll pull these off, put the new ones in, and go from there with that. I'm going to leave the video there. There'll be a part 2. It's getting a bit long now, so leave a like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video.